Welcome, everybody, to the Single and Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a dating and relationship coach and founder of Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette and Single and Stilettos. I am so excited because today we have an awesome guest, Wendy Newman, and she is the author of 121 First Dates, and she's also a dating and relationship coach. And today we are talking about how to be a fantastic date for anyone, because you want to, come out being your best so that you can get to that second date. So, Wendy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Suzanne.
Great. Well, before we jump into this, I know you're going to give us 3 awesome tips on how someone could be a fantastic date for anyone. I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you and what made you write this book, 121 First Dates.
Oh, thank you so much for asking. So I wrote 121 First Dates after a couple of really horrendous experiences on actual dates. And if you're a single girl and been on dates before, you've been on those dates, you know how they can be. They can be pretty brutal. So I wrote some short stories, and my friends and fans just loved them so much that I ended up chronicling all of my dates from number 54 on to 121. And I combined 28 short stories, kind of the best of, with a how-to guide, how to do it better than I did, guide for girlfriends, and released that last year.
Well, and I know that you're getting you have a movie deal, right, for this book. So I'm so excited because I can't wait to see this movie.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, we have options, an option letter for it, and we're doing all the hunting and scouring and talking to we've got our screenwriter and talking to A-list actresses. It's so weird I could throw names around that everyone would know, and they've read my book. Oh my God.
Oh my God. And I bet you can't tell us, right? Until they're signed.
Well, I can't tell you that it's signed because it's not signed, but I will tell you the person in the lead who we're talking to their people right now, and their people aren't saying no yet, is Drew Barrymore.
Woohoo! That is awesome. I love her. I could totally see her doing this movie. That would be so great. So our fingers are crossed for you, Wendy. So.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that I'm going to tell my executive director, just maybe once a week, one man in Hollywood that I want to play one of my dates, and I'm just going to pick all the guys that I ever wanted to sleep with.
Oh my God, this is hilarious. I want to live vicariously through you. That is so funny. Well, this is great. So everybody is probably so excited now about this movie. So we'll let everybody know when that comes out. But in the meantime, how can a woman be a fantastic date for just anybody? Give us one of your best tips.
Okay, I'm going to give you two tips at once because I'm going to set you up on how to do this thing. Okay, so how to be the best first date for anybody, anytime, anywhere is so simple. It's almost lazy. You ready? So you show up and you're at the coffee shop and you're standing at the counter and you're getting your stuff. And then as you sit down, you say, like you would to your really good friend that you haven't seen in months and months, how would you be? You'd be like, oh my God, how are you? What's been going on? What's happening in your life? Right? That's what you do with a friend. So you want to have that same sort of, maybe not that over the top energy, but just have that, hey, how are you? If it's Friday, you can say, how was your week? What's going on? What's happening? And then just boom, sit down. So I literally led with, how was your day? Or how was your week? A lot. For the half of the dating that I did of 121, sat down, very friendly, excited. How was your day? And it's boring, right? What a boring question to lead with. But that question does something very specific and kind of sneaky. And I'm going to tell you the sneaky, specific things that it does. So it'll have you feel homey and familiar, like an old friend. How was your day? That means you're asking him about how he's doing. So it shows that you're interested in him as a whole person instead of the checklist items that you have that you want to check off that he knows might be coming. They hate the checklist. And it has the conversation start so organically that it can go anywhere. And what can often happen is if you ask that question and then zip it in the beginning, he will open up and tell you all kinds of things that you would never have had access to. You can really get to know him very quickly just by how is your week and finding out what's important to him. So that's the two for just acting as if you already know them, like you're already his wife or you're already his best friend, and just having that energy of, I'm familiar with you, I know you, let's do this, what's going on, is just yummy, 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 yummy to them. And literally, if you did that and you sat down and you listened to him, he would think you were the best conversationalist in the whole world.
That's awesome. I love that tip because it's really getting to know someone on that personal level and really finding out what their life is like in a week, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's also important, like to really be enthusiastic, because all too often people can, if they've gone out on 121 first dates, they're kind of tired, right? And so it's important to not show up like, oh God, another date. It's like, hey, how's it going? How was your day? How was your week going? You know, and be really enthusiastic, because enthusiasm like attracts people. It brings them in.
Absolutely. Yeah, and where you go from there, only one time out of all the times I ever used that line, that really sexy line, how was your day? Only one time did it backfire. He said, I'm a clinical psychologist and I don't want to talk about my work. And I said, great, so what do you want to talk about?
You know what I would have said then? I would have been like, okay, we're not a match. You know, it's just like, even if he's a clinical psychologist, I would get it that he couldn't talk about his, it's like, at least open up about something else. I know it's not about your work. It's about other things too, right?
Yeah. And maybe he had a really rough clinical psychology day. Who knows, right? So I just threw a black back at him in that moment and had him sort out what we were going to talk about. And from there, if you're not going to use interview questions, which I highly recommend, no interview questions, right? The interview of, well, how long have you worked there? And how many people do you manage?
Right.
Facts, right? So instead of that, ask questions like, what do you love about your life? And what really works about how you live your life? And just really broad questions that he can go shallow or he can go deep. And a question like, what's coming up that you're really looking forward to? I mean, if the answer is nothing to all of those questions, that's really important information for you to have, I think.
It says a lot about him if he says nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I've heard is you should always ask open-ended questions, not yes/no questions, because if someone just answers yes/no, then the conversation just kind of dies.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what's your last tip on how to be a fantastic date for anyone?
Be willing to have that engagement that you like to have, but also be willing, when he gets on a roll, to, after he is done talking, give him about 30 seconds of silence to see if he has anything else. Now, this is completely counterintuitive to women. I have been teaching this for 15 years, helping women understand men. And I got to tell you, every time I'm in a room full of women and I teach it live, we time it, and women are squirming in their seats, style, in like 5 seconds, literally 5 seconds. But men's brains are designed differently than ours. And it's like, we can fire rapidly. If you ever watch shows like The View, they talk over each other, and we can hear each other and talk over each other. And that's just how women communicate. And that's great and all. Doesn't work for men. So if you're ready to say that next thing after he's done talking and you're all queued up, he's not going to go any deeper. He'll be done.
Right.
So if you want him to say more about the thing he's talking about, or even change topics on you to go to something else, you've got to give him, science shows, 18 to 23 seconds. And what happens is, like, they're talking, and then with the silence, they kind of go in and they kind of scan their brain and they scan their body. Come back. But 18 to 23 seconds and then, oh yeah, something else to say. Right? So we're not built like that. We don't understand that. My partner, Dave, 121, Mr. 121, my partner, Dave, he'll go places with me. It doesn't happen that often, but he won't speak at all. It's the weirdest thing. We went on a 4-person, a couple's dinner date, didn't say a word. We went out for this other event, didn't say a word. I said, why are you not talking? He said, if someone doesn't give me 5 seconds of silence to speak into, yeah, they don't want to hear from me. but
That's interesting.
yeah, he doesn't understand the design that silence is so unnerving to us that we fill the gap. We do want to hear, but we just don't give him space.
Right. It's true. It's very true. I've heard men complain that sometimes a woman just doesn't stop talking, so he can't get a word in edgewise. So it's always about that balance of being able to talk, but also listen, right?
Yeah. And I'll admit it, 121 first dates, I've been both of those women, right? I've been the really great balance if I'm really conscious, or I've been the one who talked too much or the one that didn't talk enough. So it's always something to pay attention to. But on the flip side, we hear the complaint. I'm sure I say we, I'm assuming you hear these complaints, but I hear men complain, I was interrogated the whole date. Yeah. And I hear women say, he didn't ask me a single thing about me on the date. I think that's the same date.
Yep. I've heard that too. And it's what I always say is there's three sides to every story. It's her side, his side, and the truth of what really happened. Because everybody's biased as to what really happened, right?
For sure.
So these have been some great tips. So Wendy, I know you have a free gift for our audience. So can you tell them a little bit about it?
Yes. First Date Success Secrets Revealed is a 4 audio and video gift that I want to give you. The first audio tells you I go into more details about what not to say on a first date. You'd be surprised at some of the things you're saying that you should not say on a first date. And then the second one is what to say on a first date. And then the third really brings it all together, and fourth brings it home to how to have an extraordinary, successful dating experience so you can find the love you're after.
Awesome. So everybody, if you want Wendy's free gift, click on the link below the video. And if you're listening to the podcast, just go to singleandstilettos.com and look for Wendy's interview. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on the Single and Stilettos show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you would like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. If you'd like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. And if you would like to get our free ebook on why men disappear without a trace, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.